Sparrows, small and agile, have always been a common presence in cities and rural areas. But if you pay attention, you'll notice they are disappearing. What is happening to these familiar birds? Why are they vanishing from our squares, gardens, and rooftops? That's what we're going to find out now. These birds are so common that they often go unnoticed. Their ability to adapt to urban environments made them a symbol of modern life. They fly from place to place searching for food, taking advantage of the leftovers we, humans, leave behind. But despite being with us for centuries, their population is dwindling. This decline is alarming because it signals that something is wrong with our ecosystem. If we think about it, the cities that were once full of sparrows are now quieter. One of the main reasons for the decline of sparrows is rampant urbanization. As cities grow, the amount of green space decreases. Sparrows, which depend on these spaces to feed and raise their young, are struggling to find suitable areas to survive. Concrete has replaced vegetation, and the insects they usually hunt are also disappearing. Another important factor is pollution. The air we breathe, especially in large cities, is full of toxic substances that affect the health of sparrows. Just as with humans, birds also suffer from poor air quality. Pollution not only harms their breathing but also contaminates the food they eat. Pollutants can be present in the insects and plants that serve as food for sparrows, directly impacting their health. Food is, in fact, a crucial point. With the modernization of cities, the amount of natural food available to sparrows has drastically decreased. They feed mainly on seeds and insects, but with the increasing use of pesticides and the reduction of green areas, these foods have become scarce. Pesticides, besides killing insects, poison the environment, making life even harder for these birds. And while some sparrows have adapted to consuming human food, like breadcrumbs, it's not enough to sustain a healthy population. And we cannot forget about predators. With the rise in cat populations in urban areas, sparrows face a new challenge. Cats are natural hunters, and even when well-fed, they still retain their hunting instincts. Sparrows are easy targets, especially when they are feeding or building their nests. Many cannot escape and end up being caught. Additionally, there is another curious phenomenon, the disappearance of cavities where sparrows usually nest. With the modernization of buildings, many houses and structures are built in such a way that there are no more holes or crevices where sparrows can shelter. In the past, they easily found spaces in old walls or rooftops to build their nests, but today this has become increasingly rare. The lack of safe shelters puts sparrow reproduction at risk. Another point worth highlighting is direct human interference. Many of us don't realize it, but the way we interact with the environment deeply affects the lives of sparrows. Noisy construction, excessive artificial lighting, and the constant movement of cities disturb the natural behavior of these birds. Studies show that too much light at night can disorient sparrows, making it harder for them to find food and even affecting their sleep cycle. Like us, they also need rest to stay healthy. It's interesting to note that, despite being small, sparrows play an important role in the ecosystem. They help control insect populations, maintaining balance in the environment. Additionally, they are pollinators, contributing to the reproduction of various plants. Their disappearance could trigger a series of environmental problems that, in the long run, will also affect us. Another important point to consider is climate change. Rising temperatures and sudden changes in the climate affect the availability of food and the migration of sparrows. They are highly sensitive to environmental changes, and when climate conditions become unfavorable, it directly impacts their ability to survive. Heat waves, heavy rains, and harsher winters hinder the reproduction and survival of new generations of sparrows. The combination of all these factors has led to the accelerated decline of sparrow populations worldwide. But, is there anything we can do to change this situation? The answer is yes. Small actions can make a big difference. For example, we can plant more trees and flowers in our cities, creating more green spaces that can serve as refuges for sparrows. It's also important to avoid using pesticides and promote sustainable gardening practices. Another simple but effective action is to provide proper food for sparrows. If you have a garden or even a balcony, you can set up feeders and leave specific seeds for them. This can help sparrows find food during times of scarcity. And let's not forget about water. Placing small containers with fresh water is also a great way to help these birds. Additionally, it's important to support initiatives aimed at preserving sparrows' natural habitats. Environmental organizations around the world are working to protect areas where these birds still live and reproduce. By supporting these initiatives, we are helping to ensure a future for sparrows. It's interesting to observe that, in some parts of the world, conservation efforts are already showing positive results. In cities where favorable environments have been created for sparrows, such as green areas and buildings with spaces for nests, sparrow populations have started to recover. This shows that with the right actions, there is still hope for sparrows. But for these efforts to continue yielding results, we need awareness. More people need to know about the situation of sparrows and the importance of their preservation. Nature is a delicate balance, and the disappearance of one species can have devastating consequences. By protecting sparrows, we are also protecting the environment and, by extension, ourselves. So, the next time you look out your window and don't see a sparrow, remember, they are disappearing. But together, we can make a difference. One last point to consider is environmental education. Informing younger generations about the importance of biodiversity and the impact of human activities on nature is essential if we are to build a more balanced future. Schools, communities, and even social media can be used to spread this message and inspire action. Conserving sparrows is not just about protecting a species, but also about caring for the balance of nature as a whole. By taking simple, conscious actions, we can ensure that sparrows, and so many other species, continue to be part of our daily lives, filling our cities with their songs and agile movements. If we act now, we can reverse this situation and ensure that these small birds continue flying above our heads, reminding us of the beauty and importance of wildlife, even in urban environments. And if you happen to see a sparrow around, feel privileged. It's no longer so easy to spot this beautiful bird. Nature chose you to share this unique moment. Treasure it in your memory, as it may never happen again. As we reflect on the sparrow's decline, it's a reminder of how our actions impact the natural world around us. Each small creature plays a vital role in maintaining the balance of our ecosystems. So, let's not take their presence for granted. Together, we can take steps to protect and preserve not only sparrows but all the wildlife that makes our world so rich and diverse. The future of these birds is in our hands. Let's make sure it's a bright one.